Before we begin, I would just like to point out that this video is 1.5 hours long. What the fuck, man? I'm glad I'm going on a vacation after this.
Alright, let's see here. Step 1. Breathe.
Monk, what? What is going on?
It's the anniversary, guys. Come on.
And now, Puppet Squad Origins with Mr. Monk.
Yes. What the fuck? Now that I've been so rudely interrupted, I guess I can tell you about the origin of the show. Because we've really run out of ideas. Speaking of which, the next episode is about FNAF. Stay tuned! For our first segment, we'll be talking about the origins of the show itself.
The origins of the Puppet Squad show. Now, this originally didn't even start off as a planned series. It started off with a one-off video that took place right before the summer. We had a bunch of puppets on hand for basically no reason whatsoever. And, well, that kind of led to the first episode where we just made them play Russian roulette. I mean, yeah, we did take the time to plan out every character and tried to come up with a couple gags for them on the spot, but, you know, evolution at its finest with the show and all that. But, yeah, so, but as much as we would like to claim it as original, nothing is completely original. There's always some inspiration behind that, and I'm certain my a lovely co-producer here would like to explain to you some of the things that inspired him for the idea of the show.
Yeah, so if you look at the first episode, Russian Roulette, you'll see that first off, hey, this is stupid, which is originally the idea for, like we said, we wanted this to be a one-off thing originally. This was never supposed to be a show. It was supposed to just be like one, because like it wasn't even, at the time we didn't even have the collab channel, so there wasn't supposed to be a segment, a series, or anything. But a lot of things that I took inspiration from were different YouTube channels, old shows that I used to watch, like a couple of the main things being that there were a couple YouTube channels that like gave me an idea to do something with, like, it wasn't really necessarily puppets at the time, like Super Mario Logan. That was one of the first channels that, like, I had the idea to do a show about, like, stuffed animals and plushies, because I didn't really have any puppets at the time, but I also didn't think this would end up being something that has really immature humor, you could say. I wanted to do like a Super Mario Logan type thing, but like more appropriate. You can see as each episode how long that lasted. But also, in relation, I got a lot of these puppets at different times of my life, and they just never had a purpose. So I never thought they'd end up being in a series that would last now like a whole year, this is our longest lasting series, and we just call it a show at this point.
I mean, it is. Plus, yeah, speaking of looking at the episodes back, you can really see how the show has evolved since then. Like,
that's the better word to choose, evolved, not improved.
Because, like, you were talking about how, like, the humor, it was, like, supposed to originally be super friendly, but how that didn't last long. Well, if you look at the show itself, there's also been a lot of evolutions. In the first episode, a lot of the characters' voices were a bit different.
Especially Monk's, because, like, the voices, like, again, since it was supposed to be a one-off thing, there were never a set terms.
Yeah, we didn't...
Like, we didn't think that we would have to do these voices again, so we really didn't think it would matter all that much.
Yeah, we didn't try to, like, perfect them, but, you know, look what it ended up with. We actually eventually decided that it would be a show, like, at the time it was uploaded. That's why we labeled it Episode 1, but that's not the only thing that evolved. So did the qualities of different aspects of the show. As we like to say in our own time, the show has simultaneously improved in quality, but also decreased in quality.
Yeah, because if you remember, the first episode
Looked
Russian
like
Roulette,
garbage.
Yeah, it was laggy as all hell, and that was because it was filmed on. It was literally filmed on a computer, which is not really. Computers are usually the type of thing you would expect gaming videos to be on, not constant moving puppets.
Well, it's just the fact that built-in computer cameras are like the worst cameras on the market ever.
And also at the time, it was like right after school, so we really didn't, because we usually use our iPads, and so at the time there wasn't really any like good things to film on, so we just worked with what we had.
Didn't we record it on my computer because like at the time we weren't actually allowed to bring the iPads home?
I think that was another thing, because it's just like, and like with summer coming up, by the time you guys are watching this video, the iPads will no longer be in our possession.
So yeah, no videos for the summer. Sorry guys.
There could very well be an occasional one, but it won't be. And if that happens, it won't really. I don't want to go with videos just to upload. I've always had the thing where it's just like I want to have a video I'm proud of, and it's up for debate whether Puppet Squad follows that rule.
I mean,
but like, yes, we're fully aware that Puppet Squad is stupid. That's the point. But even though it's stupid, we still Puppet Squad.
We put our heart into it.
Yeah, it's just like it's important to us, and the point of it being it's supposed to be stupid, but it still takes a whole lot of time.
Just look at Monk Origins in the first episode of season 2. Those 2 episodes took like hours to record, but look at them. They turned out to be like what I would describe as some of the best.
Yeah, and then
also like some of the season 2 episodes, they take place like legit at night. Like the camping episode in Woven, those were recorded near midnight.
Yeah, and not to mention just like there were multiple things for a lot of episodes that got in the way, whether it be whether it be just not having like one of us being sick, and another thing with people around, and it's just like also the other thing where it's just like I feel like personally was one of the most complicated episodes, probably not to edit but to film, was the Bigfoot episode, considering that it was super cold out that day, and not only that, that's one of the few episodes that at the time had every character up to date, plus other characters that were like one-offs, like Bigfoot and Big Ass, but it's like at the plus time, Buckle. Like that's probably like it took a lot of time to do, and it was like super cold out, so it's just like neither of us really were feeling that into it, but we pushed through, and I was really happy with the final project and everything.
And while the quality of the show may have increased, the quality of the humor definitely downgraded very swiftly. Specifically the Christmas episode, when Monk just became a walking fart joke.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, even though like that happened, we knew we wanted to, as episodes started, we started having more episodes, we knew we just wanted to have this be something that if more people start watching this, it's going to be great for us, but also bad for us, because we've unleashed this on the world now, and we're fully aware of what we're doing.
We've legitimately had times on the show where we had to stop and think, can we put this on the internet? Is this legal?
Yeah, because even though there are really messed up jokes in the episodes up to date, not only that, there are probably going to be even worse ones in the future, but there have been so many like jokes and even references that we just decided we can't do, because even we have some respect for ourselves, and it's like there's only so much you can do on YouTube. Like if YouTube had less restrictions, there would be this show would honestly be a little bit harsher with its comedy too.
But yeah, that's I would say that's pretty much where the show came from. We just messed around, and
to sum it up, it was something that never was supposed to be a thing, but in the end I'm glad it is.
Yeah, and it evolved, and I guess that's really the origin of the show.
Yeah, that's about it.
So, we will now be returning to Monk to introduce us to the next segment.
Alright, see you guys.
For our second segment, we'll be talking about the origins of each episode.
Okay, so the first episode of Puppet Squad we ever made was Russian Roulette.
1 year ago today, which is honestly crazy at this point.
Yeah. So the primary thing we're going to be discussing is what gave us the idea to do each episode. I suppose when we talk about the next episode, that'll be a bit more clear. But for now, we're just gonna talk about the first episode, Russian Roulette. As we already mentioned in the show commentary, this episode kind of just sprouted because we wanted to mess around.
Yeah, we had, as Corey says in this video, it was a challenge, we had nothing else to do. That was a joke in itself, but it was also because, literally, we were bored. I brought these puppets over, I was like, hey, we should film some kind of video with these, and I'm like...
Yeah. Russian Roulette was also the experimentary episode. Monk's voice was different, the quality was crap because we were trying to record it a different way, and also this was the only episode to feature any real over-the-top style of editing. Like, there was a lot of edits, like the carrot eye hole joke, there were hit markers showing up.
Oh yeah, I realized that hit markers have been a thing the whole time now, though. One of the jokes that have always stayed since the beginning. Yeah. And then, like, back to, like, saying each of the... pretty much the only ones that haven't really changed are Great Man and, Tyrone. Because Great Man is just text.
Yeah. Great Man, he's literally a man of few words. Because all he does is do indistinguishable slurping.
Yeah.
And...
in all honesty, it's because what else would something that Great Man looks like, what would that even sound like? Yeah. And then it's just like...
that's kind of why we made him that way, because we looked at him and we were like, what the heck is this guy gonna do?
But yeah, like, in the episode in general, it's just like, like we said, it's just one of those things where it's just like it's basically a pilot episode to test it and see how it would go, because, like, again, it's never really supposed to be a series, but it ended up being that way anyways.
Yeah, and it turned out fine, it's just that the show, changed from there. Like, we got rid of, like, experimental, the bad experiments we did.
Yeah, and another thing, it's just, in general, like, there's so much more that we've had ideas for since the first episode, because, like, the whole series would not exist without this first episode.
Yeah, and, we could also talk a little about what happened in the episode. Like, for example, Monk dying was indeed scripted. Like, we scripted that.
Each bullet was planned out. Yes, it's supposed to be Russian Roulette, but this is how you know behind it. We had a set on who was supposed to go first.
Actually, that's what you said is actually kind of a lie. Monk was the only planned death. Everyone else, we legit tried to be random with it. I spun the wheels, and, like, Great Man ended up dying second. I honestly didn't expect it. But when I heard the bullet come off and shoot him, I had to, like, improvise him on the spot. That's why he, like, shook there for a minute and then just died, because, like, I honestly didn't know what to do at the time.
Yeah, and another thing I think we could probably talk about is, like, for this episode, there was, like, a lot of things that we talked about that we wanted to add that were just kind of stupid, but still funny to us. Like, with Monk, when he got shot, and then, like, he started freaking out, and it like, started going into
the real
monkey sound, which I thought was really funny to do.
We talked about that, like, in between scenes of recording. We, like, talked to each other, we were like, hey, let's do that.
Yeah, and then another thing with the, like, it only lasts, like, 2 seconds, but when, I think it was the second turn for Tyrone, you added the one part of the,
Cha-cha.
Yeah,
we also talked about that. I suppose the last thing we should talk about with this episode is the very random and abrupt ending. We did that because we figured out that while recording it, that if we didn't, it was going to take excruciatingly long to, like, even though there's only 6 chambers in the gun, it would have been, like, a really long process to go down all the bullets for every character. So once Great Man died, we were like, what's something really dumb that we can just throw in for absolutely no reason?
Quite literally throw in, because the brain grenade thing was a joke that had no real meaning behind it, but also it was used again later in another episode, so it's just something that we went with because we didn't want the first episode to go on forever.
Yeah, and that's basically the first episode, Russian Roulette.
Yeah.
And next episode is, as I am looking at our index, next episode is Budget Feud, which is honestly one of the longest episodes we've ever created.
Alright, let's go to that.
So, Budget Feud, probably our longest episode if I had to guess.
Yeah, probably. It's definitely up there as one of the longest ones.
Yeah. As the second episode, it also was fairly, how to say, experimentary? Yeah.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, like, there is a decent gap between the first and this one.
Yeah. And also, this is the episode where we introduce, like, the second wave of characters. Like,
Yeah, because
we realized we had more characters and we wanted to, like, include them.
because I was going through my room a while after the first episode was out. I'm sitting there like, I realized I have other puppets. But also then there's the thing that people could bring up where it's just like, not every character is a puppet.
Technically, but
But-
you know what? Who cares, though?
It's still going to be called Puppet Squad because the original episode were just strictly puppets.
Yeah.
And like whether or not you believe it, like Screamus, Orlov, and like all the little ones, those are still puppets.
Yeah.
The only isn't Creeper the only one in this that's just not a puppet?
Oh, like in waves 1 and 2 only?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Because I still feel like even now, like, puppets outweigh just regular plushies. And either way, it doesn't matter because it's still going to be called Puppet Squad.
Yeah, I think Yeti and Secret are the only other ones than Creeper that aren't puppets so far.
And in the future, we have plans of adding more characters, and some of them are not puppets
Per se, but there is still
There are
there's
also
still,
more
like,
that will be puppets.
yeah, they're still mostly plush if they're not.
Yeah.
But let's get into the main reason that we made this episode, and that's because we legit just had a really stupid costume for the Cory puppet to wear.
Yeah, believe it or not about that puppet, or like the outfit for Cory to wear, is that the hat was actually originally his anyways, and the teeth went with Great Man.
Well, because
Yeah.
we'll get into why Great Man had those teeth a bit later.
We'll get into that when we talk about Great Man in the next section.
But yeah, that's why that is legitimately why we made this character. Because like we had a stupid outfit for Cory. We were like, all right, well, what are we gonna call this guy? We ended up thinking of two of our most favorite memed people ever, Steve
Yeah.
Harvey and Dr. Phil. We combined them, squished them together to create Phil Harvey. And, well, then we were like, okay, what's this guy's game show? And then we just straight up stole Google Feud.
Yeah, and at the time, I really do think that we were thinking this was extremely funny at the point, and like still we knew it was
Ace.
not. Yeah, that was the other thing. This was the first episode that launched like a bloopers type video.
Well, the reason why that blooper reel was like an official episode was because the original episode 4 sucked a lot.
we don't talk about that one anymore. It
don't-
was not a shared
It's like-
decision.
It's like the Hotel Mario of Puppet Squad. It's that game or episode that you just don't talk about ever.
It exists, but shouldn't.
Yeah.
So we fixed that.
Yeah, we fixed it. And no, we're never gonna elaborate, no matter how much you ask. So
If you've been here for a while, then you should know enough, and you shouldn't know enough. So
okay, well, I think this is the first episode where we really took the humor, like, we started to shove the humor down in the quality, because, like, Tyrone's answer where he said, like, soften the dick.
yeah, that's another thing. Like even though despite like the humor going down, like this video was. Like it was like there was a lot put into this one, like especially for editing and like for having like the answers and everything there.
I even messed up a couple times, like, when some of the boards disappeared for no reason.
Yeah, I mean like, but still, overall this episode is like a good favorite of mine, and then the ending here is like again one of those times where there was really no purpose for it.
I mean,
It was just there.
yeah, once we finished I think the reason we did it was similar to the first episode's thing, where we just wanted to end it before it got way too long.
Yeah, I feel like that was one of the things that I personally had thought we might end up doing for each Puppet Squad episode, like from that point, is have an ending that both makes no sense, but also is just why. It's just a good way to put it overall. Why?
Yeah. But, yeah, we also divided our puppets up into 2 teams based on, like, if their voice that we assigned them was, like, a horrible accent or edited in any way.
And if you're looking at just the characters that are in here, it was surprisingly, that worked very well in our favor because there were 3 and 3. So.
Yeah, and then Creeper was just there.
And never ask about the joke that Phil Harvey made. It is something that I said jokingly before we filmed this scene, and then I'm like, hey, I'm going to say it anyways. And the get the fuck out of here, you sexy ass motherfucker joke. There's really no meaning behind that. Go ahead and theorize all you want. I don't know why I said that.
But, who knows? Maybe Phil Harvey will be coming back.
I mean, you never know.
Well, anyway, I guess that's really all there is to talk about this.
Yeah, surprising enough, like, it's, again, like, there'll probably it'll be longer stuff that we talk about, as the episodes increase, but, like, and again, this was still one of the ones, like, I still feel like at this point we didn't know it was going to be, like, we wanted it to be, like, a quote-unquote show, but we didn't know it would become, like, as long as it is now, so we kind of, like, still... We're joking around with this one.
Sorry about that, folks.
Pillows. So yeah, that's probably all we gotta talk about for this one.
Anyway, the next episode is Yeetus Vanitas.
Alright, let's go to that.
So, Yeetus Vanitas, what is there to say about this one?
Honestly, and then this was the case where back when we were still, like, we had, like, cussing in every now and then, but it would be censored, because, like, this was back when we put some on your channel was not the same as it is now.
Yeah, but... I would have originally really liked to have uncensored the episode, but I just didn't have the files to do that. So that's kind of like a big loophole. But really the main reason we made this episode was just because we wanted to give Monk some justice, because at the time he was like the show's punching bag.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I'm realizing is because that, not only did Monk start as the punching bag, now he is the one punching. So,
because
Monk started off as that character that just everyone hated, and now
he's the big honcho. Because let's be real, he's a much better character to write for than Corey.
Yeah, really. I mean, like,
because Corey, he's just a guy.
Yeah. Oh, I hope someone out there gets that. Anyways, but yeah, this like again, this is another one of the videos where it's just like. Oh, and fun fact I'm gonna say, because, like, didn't we have a bunch of extra, like, little puppets that we threw? Was that one of the times we did it in this? Because, like, if you notice, like, during the explosion, like, looks like there's a lot more, like, little, like, plushies, puppets there, and that's because there are. And the purpose of that is, I think we said, like, just leave it in and let people figure it out. Because, yeah, there's a whole lot more there.
Well, I remember, like, they were also in the old intro for this episode. It's like the reason they were there is because, like, I don't know, maybe we'll find a use for them one day.
Yeah, like, because I brought them over, and like, because, like, Screamus and Orlov are the ones we ended up picking out as, like, 2, because, like, Orlov was actually already kind of a character that I had thought of but never, like, put into a video, and Screamus was just, he's Screamus.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the extra little ones I had eventually brought over because I thought maybe we could find a use for them, but it's just like, in the end, it's just like...
We never did.
Yeah.
Maybe
maybe in the future we'll have them as like again
yeah.
extra characters.
Because like the thing is like we don't want to give away too much spoilers about the characters' backstories yet, but just as a little subtle hint, Creeper, Orlov, and Screamus, they've been friends for like a while, and you know, obviously they like knew some other people. You know, it's like maybe one day we can like elaborate on that backstory a little.
Yeah,
and like you know, similar to how Great Man invited Guinness over. They could end up inviting like the whole squad, you know.
Yeah, and then like again, like,
but like still, the main purpose of those tiny characters would be like they're mostly like background kind of things. It's like
just to make it look like there was a lot more people, quote unquote, dying.
Yeah. So, but yeah, there's really not much to this episode.
Yeah, it's probably one of our super short episodes.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose in a way you could say it's like the episode I'm least proud of, but like I don't know, that just gives off like a too negative connotation to me.
Yeah, but overall, it's still.
Oh wait, there was another reason why we made this episode that we didn't even talk about. Look at the title, Yeetus Vanitas.
Oh yeah, the joke behind that.
So basically, long story short, if anyone out there knows about the Kingdom Hearts games, there was one where, while the main character, like during the Monsters Inc. world, the villainous character named Vanitas showed up, and Sully just tossed Vanitas into a door, and then tossed that door into another door, into another door, into another door, and then they like shredded all 4 layers of like the doors.
Yeah, because I remember you sent me the link to that video one day, and then we're like, we gotta put this in somehow.
And then that's when we thought of like make it justice for Monk.
Yeah, because
I think that shocking revelation, remembering what the real meaning behind it was, is a really nice way to just end off talking about this episode.
Yep. So the next episode we got is
the bloopers episode.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to that.
Okay, the bloopers episode.
The replacement for depression. And that's where we're in that part of what we're talking about.
Yeah, we had the idea to do blooper reels. We haven't really touched on it since because
most of the time whenever we have bloopers, there's stuff we think of after that we want to say are bloopers, but the bloopers are not really like added on jokes. They're stuff that you just accidentally mess up on, and we haven't
had a really funny one in a while.
Yeah, and whenever we do, we usually forget, hey, we should still be recording anyways. And like the last time we did a bloopers videos was for.
Well, technically, we made one for hunting Bigfoot, but
yeah, but it's just like there was only so much to do with that one. There was nothing that was standing out as that funny.
If we get more bloopers, I'll definitely harvest that footage and make a second bloopers episode.
Yeah, because that's still up on my channel. I think so. Yeah, because that one was more about outtakes than bloopers, which I don't believe are the same thing. Because like in that one, there were scenes that took so many tries that I just put in as bloopers because there was just like I didn't know what else to do. Yeah. But this one was like strictly bloopers of the Budget Feud one
and Yeetus Vanitas.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode primarily just exists to fill in a missing hole of like a really bad idea we had for a 4th episode.
Don't even try to take credit. It was fully my idea. I didn't really even tell you what I was doing at the time. Okay, I'll go ahead and say it. I'm not going to explain it, but I'll say it. The original 4th episode was a video that I made by myself. It still exists. It no longer is Puppet Squad, and I'll never say what it's called anymore. But I made it. I asked if I could make a video with the Puppet Squad intro, but it was just so bad. There was no reason behind it, and I'm not talking about. There's like no reason behind like the show in general. Even then, there's more reason to the show than the reason to that episode alone.
You literally just did it for...
I did it to do it, which is something that I hate doing. I don't like doing stuff just to do it. Like,
But let's just...
go back to this. It's just like, because there were jokes that...
Yeah.
Because, like, in
Like,
the scene where Great Man is, like, sliding on the ground to go off, like, then you see in the bloopers that I was laughing because that just really caught me off guard, and I'm just sitting there, like, he just slid away like a snake.
Yeah, you also kept getting, like, the team name wrong.
Yeah, that was another thing. Like, and honestly, everything I said, I have no regret for because it honestly pissed me off. That's just my natural reaction, is to just go full with my insults towards myself.
We're gonna edit that out. Anyway, so...
But yeah, overall, this episode is bloopers and cuts. Just it's exactly what
straight
it is.
to the point.
Yeah, really. Not really too much to say about it.
It's also just kind of showing how we are when we're effing around off the camera.
Yeah, it's good to know that we're still people.
Yeah, we're not just machines making puppets. Though we do frequently talk if they came to life.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a whole lot different.
Recording the show would be easier, but...
It'd be a whole lot easier, but at what cost? Okay, hear me out.
Eternal nightmares.
Going off guard, but we're already here, and don't want to forget, what if we got the puppets to be alive only when we're filming? There's the middle ground.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're only alive when cameras are rolling.
Alright, well, that has been the Bloopers and Cuts videos, aka literally nothing.
It's just there, but it's better than what it used to be.
Anyway, peace. Alright, the Halloween episode, probably one of our favorites.
Yeah, in the first two-part episode.
Yeah. But, so,
First off, before anything, this video is funny in so many different ways. Like, I know it's supposed to be scary, but also, the thing I just want to get out of the way is that none of the quote-unquote stories have anything to do with any of those series. They don't relate. They're not canon.
yeah, I mean, they're stories, why would they?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's nice to clear it up just in case someone might be confused out there.
Yeah, because there are, like, we have other series that are in, like, these stories, but it doesn't have anything to do with those other series' actual lore.
Yeah, and, like, it featured, like, a lot of crossovers into our other series, like Paper Pals, Macro Cult.
Yeah, because, well, if you think about it, like, Macro Cult was not too much of a thing before this, but...
Well, yeah, this crossover technically birthed that series, but it's...
Yeah, but aside from that, it was still a thing, because, the original thing was, like, we wanted to do a Halloween special, like... I brought over just a bunch of different... Because I have so many different masks and everything and, like, horror stuff, and I brought it over, and it's just like... And that's how we...
Yeah, it's like, what can we do?
What can we do? Because there was nothing specific besides the puppets that I was going to bring. Like, I have, at this point, a whole bin of just horror props. So I'm just like, I'll bring over just whatever I can fit.
Yeah, so... That's kind of why we just did a lot of stories, and,
Yeah, because, like, I wanted to go for this, like, my idea was, like, go for the classic, like, scary stories to tell in the dark, and mixed with that, it was, like, Are You Afraid of the Dark? That was, go for, like, stories and then actually show the stories. It was more Are You Afraid of the Dark, that old show that, like, was the main inspire for this. It was just, like, people around a campfire, in this case, humidifier. Great joke, and I don't care what anybody says. I love that.
When in our file systems where we keep all the stuff we use for the show, we even named the music Humida-Fire.
Yeah, and then the other scene that's, well, other scene, because since this is a two-part episode, in between, when Monk says, why are we in a different room?
It's a fourth wall joke.
This is a fourth wall joke, because despite the show, there's still obstacles that we'll have to figure out around, because, like, there's too much noise, and, they're in the bathroom.
So, I guess we could talk about each story. The first one was, like, when Noir was, like, cutting up something, and then it was revealed she, like, just myrtleized the entire puppet squad.
Yeah, just acting casual, and then Sonny freaks out again. It's not canon, but still, it's just like somehow Sonny knew them.
But the second episode, story, my bad, it did reveal something that was kind of canon. That
Yeah.
Great Man and Guinness are like distant relatives, and they were connected by their ancestor, who was like this purple clawed monster. But that's like the only canon thing.
The reason we decided that was because the Fuggler is purple, Great Man, and Claw is Guinness, and then we're like, that's like probably gonna be the only thing that makes sense in this entire episode. And then I guess we can talk about the to be continued thing.
Oh yeah, I mean it was just kind of supposed to be a joke.
Yeah,
I do like how it's like all horror vibe, and then suddenly bright
just
cotton
like
candy.
right out of nowhere, just like, and then we purposely don't have the build up part of that meme song, so
Just to catch you off guard.
Yeah,
and it's
then,
like all bright cotton candy colors after like complete horror vibe.
yeah. Well, one more thing, like the only thing that I will say is like, I mean, that in relation to the Puppet Squad, that character the show is not canon with the Puppet Squad, but that is Contrast, which now there's the video up about Contrast, who is part of the Paper Pals
Universe. Because
Yeah.
we had like a falling out with the original cast.
Yeah, that'll be a video one day on its own. But just summing it up, like that's because if you go watch the other video about Contrast, that's one of our newer videos. Like the stick arm thing is technically canon and everything, but also again, just like the Macro Cult one, that Contrast part was kind of like the birth of that character.
Yeah.
Because never really had like
speaking-
anything in particular for himself.
Let's just transition into that story real quick. First things first, it was the this story was like the first joke that jabbed at like the little inside joke of Tyrone's name.
Yeah.
We're not
We're
gonna
never going to get into that. We have a wiki you can read.
we're not gonna get like too into the details of the joke, but basically it's Tyrone's name is basically a play on the I'm Tyrone.
We'll explain that more when we get to Tyrone's
the
character.
the trend of videos. You know.
Yeah.
And lastly, we have Monk's story, which we jokingly called the worst.
Yeah.
We had
parts of it, like there's like the editing that's really good because like with the light flickering and everything, and like you put the sound effect in and everything. Like the reason that we call this the worst is because with Skinhawk being there, like we couldn't really have any way to make it brighter because you couldn't because like the thing where it turns like gray here, you could only really see him a little bit.
Well, when it turned gray, this transition was supposed to be smoother, but for some reason our editing software was just being a stick in the mud that day.
Yeah, and like even back then, and sometimes still now, like there's only so much we can do for a scene, because, yeah, we can do editing, but it's like we're not professionals, so...
Yeah, and Skinhawk is also a character that we don't really feature much. He was kind of
he is still a character, and like again, it's not canon with the Puppet Squad universe, but like the ways he works are still like, and I don't really think it's ever because like after Monk sees him, he shoots himself. That's never really explained why he does that, and it's not just because Monk hates his life. I mean, sure, but it's also because the thing with Skinhawk is that he like drives people insane to madness and makes
just
you
looking
feel,
at him forces you to.
yeah.
We're not gonna say the words.
To commit scooter ankle.
Scooter.
What are you talking about?
Scooter ankle.
But yeah, like for each of the stories, there are the series, even though they are not canon together, they still work the same way.
Yeah. Plus, it's just there to have a laugh.
Yeah, and like especially the Macro Cult one is one that is kind of dumb, but it's probably my favorite of the four.
I mean, it was indeed a real fire stunt.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like even though it was like small, like. And it was very hard to get on camera because it didn't last long. But there were decent like little flames for, and it was hard to see because it was like light and it was like raining and stuff. But there was a pentagram drawn on the plate and everything. That was probably my favorite one of the four stories, just because like I feel like we put a lot of stuff into that.
I know.
One more thing I thought was worth mentioning was this only thing that for this birthed Noir's. Thing about teleporting, if you remember.
Well, actually, I don't think it did.
Well,
know what?
true.
Even
It
when
just made it more clear.
Yeah, it made it more clear. Noir did teleport before, but it wasn't like exactly clear what was happening.
But to be perfectly honest, the reason she was teleporting in this is because we had a camera like blurry mistake, but then we realized that we edited a certain way. Hey, that's like really cool looking. So
Yeah.
that's how that came about.
I mean, it does make her seem a little lazy teleporting such short distances, but
anyone that can teleport is like automatically scary, considering that they can pretty much do anything with it.
as a matter of fact, that contrast short we mentioned did feature a very scary instance of her teleportation.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Puppet Squad, and yeah, that's basically what the entire Halloween episode was.
Yeah, our first two-parter, and honestly one of my personal favorites, because I feel like overall in both parts that we put a decent amount of like actual like love and effort into it.
And yeah,
That's about it.
Oh, good lord, the end, not really. What were we doing? Well, I know what we were doing. In all honesty, the reason this episode was made because we wanted to do something. Puppet Squad was like one of our only series at the time, and we wanted to make sure we had something to do.
Yeah, but also I think it's just funny because the amount of weapons that you just had, like, well, obviously, like it's like all Nerf stuff and everything, and just like all of that is just like.
Let's start from the beginning. So, like I said,
beginning of the end.
Like I said, we were trying to figure out something to do for an episode, and it shows because this is the shortest episode we've had. Like, legit, the intro takes up almost half of it.
Yeah, and altogether it's still only 49 seconds. So.
Well, actually, it's 49.
Yeah.
Well,
and the intro it takes up a bit. So.
Yeah. So, what is the reason we went for this plot line? It was fan art, wasn't it? That someone made?
It was fan art that one of my online friends at the time had made, because she like at this point, like not counting further episodes because obviously there were more characters, but like all the characters like from this episode and back, he drew all of them, but forgot to draw a Creeper, and honestly don't really blame him because Creeper's really never had a significant like role in himself. So the point of this is like Creeper was super mad about that, and that's why, and
just killed everyone.
And like Corey was saying, like he was mad that he wasn't including in the picture, but then Monk, just the tasteless joke. Now I don't have to do anything myself. Like, wow, all right then.
Alright, Monk. Like, we even had swords and knives.
Yeah, there's like so much there, and like you don't even really see all of it unless you like pause it. It's just, like there was a lot of stuff there. It was so hard to set up. Yeah, stuff just kept falling down. And by the time everything was like stable, like we just went for it because it was going to be like a super quick scene that showed it all, anyways.
But let me tell you, we certainly felt satisfied with the result.
Yeah, I mean. This is where hit markers started being just a conical thing for Puppet Squad and even some of our other series.
They were so lazily edited, spinning.
Yeah, but still, I mean, the Puppet Squad has got the classic explosion too. So.
Yeah, that like stock explosion.
I think the other thing was like, didn't we film this like right as I was about to go home too? Is that
yeah, we did.
That's why all like they're just sitting on like my bags and everything. And it's just like, it's crazy because now I have like a minimum of 2 huge bags, and I bring so many now and back that I only brought one. It's because there wasn't as many characters, and now that entire red bag you see is just it barely even fits the entire Puppet Squad cast up to date now.
Yeah,
which is
so
insane. That's really
that's really all we can really say about this episode.
Yeah, there's not really much more to it either way.
Yeah, so. It was kind of just some little thing to slip in between the 2 holiday specials.
Yeah. Well, yep. Yeah. Alright.
Oh, good lord, the Christmas episode.
The birth of Monk's entitlement. It's just this 2-parter is not only in my like top favorite list. It's just, one might say, kind of crappy.
Alright, funny jokes out of the way. Now, we're not gonna lie to you. When we saw each other before Christmas, we were like, what could like a thing about like Christmas with Puppet Squad be about? Because again, similar to Yeetus Vanitas, we wanted Monk to be the main character and get some justice for being punched around all the time.
And like the other thing was, it was also the case with the Halloween special. I had made like a quote-unquote trailer, but this was originally supposed to be Monk saves Christmas, emphasize saves. That's not what we got.
Well,
He saved it for himself, that's
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it's still correct, because it didn't say for who.
Yeah,
But this is the birth where, like, the humor just dropped to its lowest, hit rock bottom, at least I think so.
Well, yeah, I mean, given what we're seeing on our screen right now.
Yeah, from this episode on, the jokes get so much more immature, but in all honesty, and this part, despite it being what it is, it's kinda sad.
Yeah.
And I'll bring it up now. This was a one take, this long shot, without until he got to the gate. It was just a continuous shot, and it was one try.
If I remember correctly, we just decided to leave it in just cause.
Yeah, because it's just like, why not? Like, it shows him walking, like, this is sad, and we wanted to use sad music, which is, I believe, the same we used in the Halloween special at the one point.
Yeah, but, so, yeah, as for the whole plot of Monk crapping on the tree and then getting thrown out of the house, we were just looking for some kind of plot. We were like, well, what if Monk does something that, like, makes Corey lash out super harsh, and then like, Monk comes back and, like, shows him the true meaning of Christmas. Well, Monk showed him something.
And also how I look at it, like, up until this part, like, the first episode, like, technically, Monk didn't necessarily mean to do that to the tree, because, like...
Yeah, he had stomach cramps.
And real quick, the joke was behind that is because I was having stomach cramps at the time. I'm like, hey, now, why not add that? There's got to be a reason he gets kicked out, and we're just like, go with that.
Yeah.
Because we never expected what the final outcome to be would be what it is now.
We literally went to rock bottom resorting to toilet humor. But you know what?
But hey, it works.
One good thing to come out of this episode was the introduction of Yeti and Secret.
Which, the reason why they are here is because, like, they're one of the few, like, I guess, Christmassy, like, winterish plushies I have. Because, like, a Yeti and a penguin. And, like, if you don't know that... the Secret plushie is...
Baby Private.
Yeah, and we'll get into, like, the jokes
Details
about that when his part comes on.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, so Monk ends up breaking into the cellar and goes back up the stairs. And that leads to the big fight scene.
Yeah. Not only was that actually, like... Oh, and then there was the Return of the To Be Continued joke.
This time, instead of featuring all bubblegum candy kind of filters, it was the filter.
It was emphasizing something's about to go down.
Well, the filter itself is called edge detection.
Yeah.
And
you would think the Halloween and Christmas one for that joke, they would have been swapped, but no. It was like that on purpose.
Yeah. So... Yeah, that led to the second part with the big fight scene. We had Carol of the Bells, the Metallica version.
Yeah.
And we made Corey say a joke about, like, why do I hear Christmas boss music? It's like, because there was the whole why do I hear boss music trend, and it was like we can do something.
Yeah, and like just either way, like that is like intense music. And there's not a lot of Christmas songs that one would say are intense.
Yeah.
And, like, Carol of the Bells is, like, one of my most favorite Christmas songs. And, like, there was just so much, especially for the fight scene, like, there were so much, like, ideas, like, almost on the spot. Like, we knew something was going to happen to Corey. I don't think we originally had the intention of the final outcome being that. But we knew, like, everyone was going to get beat up. And everything.
We did get a funny picture out of it, though.
Oh, yeah, which...
You saw.
Yeah, it's in this video, and that's all we'll say. You'll know it when you see it, trust me with that.
Anyway, So yeah, the fight scene also revealed that Yeti was like super strong and Secret was like a karate master.
Yeah, it's just like the whole thing for both of them. And well, also the thing was just like I had originally thought about making Yeti and Secret just one-off characters for the Christmas special, but I'm kind of glad we didn't because like.
Yeah, because Monk needed some friends.
Yeah, and I know like for future episodes he eventually got more people on his side. But still, like that, if we would have still waited that long and not had Yeti and Secret as main characters, it would have just been like just the rest of the series probably would have resorted just to far more like kind of dumb stuff. Like dumb is not good way.
Yeah, and then Corey at the end got beat the crap up. As a matter of fact, filming that fight scene, we actually did legitimately break the stick that controls Corey's arm.
Yeah, another thing, like the music timed up kind of scaringly well at some points, and we just put the music in at first, like we didn't try, and then there's just this. It's just, there's no way to not joke about it. This is how you ruin someone's entire life. Not only is this just...
Is it bad that it still makes us laugh?
I don't care that it still makes us laugh. It's just like, puppet or not, I mean, it doesn't make me feel bad for Corey. I mean, everyone hates Corey.
At least now.
If you look at Monk's Twitter, his ad is FUKCORY.
I think you know what that spells.
Yeah. So, and it's just like... How much can we literally crap on Corey's existence by crapping on him? That's how you do it.
And then there was the final joke about Monk getting a bigger, better tree. There was originally a bit more to the joke, but we cut it out because we felt like it was a bit too insensitive.
Yeah.
It could have had like insensitive implications.
Yeah. Another thing that kind of has a little bit to do with this I think we can mention is there was the New Year's video that we filmed that
for your channel.
Yeah, and it just showed that they have been waiting under the tree that long, and it's just like they've been waiting under the tree for a week because then
no one knows where Corey went.
No, he's just yeah.
Probably crawled away in fear.
Yeah, probably. Well, he has to crawl. He ain't got no legs.
But yeah, I think that's really all there is about the Christmas special.
It started what the rest of the series became.
Yeah, we wanted to do something, but that ended up literally flushing.
The original idea was supposed to be like a legitimately kind of nice Christmas special, but still be Puppet Squad, so obviously it wouldn't be nice. But then I don't really think the original idea was to go this direction, but I'm kind of glad it did either way.
Because
the Puppet Squad wouldn't be anything the way it is now if it wasn't for this episode.
It encouraged Monk's really like erratic and very inappropriate personality, which we honestly do love.
Yeah, that's just who he is. Like, yeah, and but that's about all there is for this.
Anyway, next up is the very first special. So Monk Origins.
Yeah, this is one of those episodes where it's just like either
we really, I don't know, we were looking to explain Monk. There's like a 50-50 with the origin of this episode. 50% of us wanted to like legit explain why Monk is the way he is, but the other 50% of us just really wanted to make the college boy masturbates joke.
Yeah. For all you in college. Man, relating too much to Monk right now.
Just take that as you will. Just remember, we had that exact same kind of joke at the beginning of this very documentary.
Yeah, and and then the other thing is just like it legitimately like, despite its humor in between, it's actually kind of sad because it's just like Monk didn't always try to be the way he is, like, you know, because it's just like
yeah.
And then this was like in a different location, so we wanted to make it seem like it was a different place because it was supposed to.
Yeah, so that's where we came up with the idea of like being in college.
Yeah, and it's messy everywhere. It's just like, I mean, that was just the way it was either way. But I mean,
but we definitely did explain why Monk the way he is. He had like a serious accident. Like his friends went out to check on like a pizza that was taking a while, and some drunk pizza guy who, for some reason, had a race car ran
Yeah.
his dorm.
Yeah, they got that now. That's a new feature. You can either have regular delivery or fast delivery. If you have fast delivery, they just have a race car.
Express delivery.
Imagine if that's what that was.
Premium service.
The pizza guy must have been like, it's like Amazon workers when you click same day delivery at 11:59.
Yeah.
That's about how fast he was going.
Um.
But this is also the first Puppet Squad episode to have like an outro.
Well, not only just an outro, but like to have a intro/outro credit segment. That's what we'll call it. To be animated.
Yeah, that's true. Cause like this is still one of my most favorite episodes.
It also includes one of our favorite jokes. Monk wrote a essay, but the thing is like. This essay is actually like one we wrote. We legitimately spent like a couple hours writing an essay in the style because like
the good way to sum it up is the essay took longer to do than just to film, edit, and upload this video. The essay took longer than all of that combined.
Yeah, because like
there is so much in that.
Yeah, at the time we were like extremely fascinated with the extreme advertising meme format, which is like over the top swearing, making like
everything sound just way more explaining everything to the max in the most horrible way.
Yeah, and being extremely descriptive as well.
Yeah, and descriptive on things that you shouldn't even have any description on. And that's all we'll really say about the document. If you want to hate your life, just pause it.
Or just take Pure Liquid Crack to read it in like the 1/10 of a second it was there for.
Yeah, I mean, don't get mad at us for anything that's in there, because we've told you it's going to ruin your life. But you're not required to see it, so this is on you.
But yeah, it also is the first episode to like feature like actual footage of us.
Yeah, because that's technically that's like aside from the bloopers video, this is the one with quote unquote humans.
Yeah, but it's because we didn't have like any puppets that could pose as doctors.
I've seen one that's like a nurse, but I know that they exist, but I've never been in a place that sells a puppet that's a doctor, and I feel like
and of course,
it worked fine for us because like we had the Dr. Krang and Dr. Crunk names, or an old joke that would take too long to explain, but it's just like that would work. So
yeah, and of course my doctor is the one with the big knife.
Yeah, it's just, and then we wanted to do something where we wore scrubs, and I had an actual stethoscope, and I'm just like, I'm never going to use this besides this video, so why not use it now?
Yeah, but I guess that's all there really is to Monk Origins.
I mean, yeah, all that's explained in it, story-wise about his backstory, is true, and it is kind of sad in a way, because it's just like...
Yeah. He was actually pretty smart. But
did we mention anything about like this revealed his first name?
Oh no, we did. Yeah, it revealed that Monk's name is Gidro, which is the word monkey in another language. I don't.
We'll probably figure it out by the time we get to the character stuff.
It's Malagasy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce the name of that language, but you get the idea.
Yeah. Because it's just like
we wanted.
What would Monk's first name be? He's like the only character that has a first and last name.
Yeah, so we legitimately looked up translations of monkey in other languages.
Yeah, and it's just like
and Gidro stuck out.
And that honestly, at this point, it's just like Gidro Monk. That just sounds like a name. Not a hopefully, man. Shout out to all you Gidros out there. If anyone is named that I don't believe you. But yeah, this episode was. It may be silly, but it holds a special place. So
yeah, so
that's about it for that.
Anyway, next up we start season 2. So Hunting Bigfoot, that was the first official season 2 episode, and it was also the last one we recorded before we moved Puppet Squad to Cringe O'Clock.
Yeah.
So we wanted to, the reason why this episode exists is because we really wanted to parody the Finding Bigfoot game.
Yeah. And that's why what you'll see the guns research team. That is a nod at
Markiplier's
Markiplier's playthrough.
where they like called themselves Guns Research because it's like
Believe it or not, that's actually like not part of the Finding Bigfoot series. It was in the Goatman video, but it's the same type of game.
oh yeah.
So there's a lot of Markiplier things that are Markiplier is the overall inspiration for this video. To sum it up that way.
And we really did need a reason why the squad was hunting Bigfoot, because it's like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
But it's like, so we ended up deciding on the fact that Monk would be hired by Guns Research, and we decided that Bigfoot would be Monk's dad.
Yeah. Further going into Monk Origins, it's just like, hey, I never saw that coming.
Yeah. So Bigfoot is Monk's dad, and we portrayed him as like we actually portrayed him as like a prim and proper fellow.
Yeah.
Like, he even himself says, "Did you think I was a savage beast?"
Yeah, because it's just like, he's not that big. It's just like, hey, it's just like, you never know. Bigfoot doesn't have to be huge.
The crude humor went to the other plush that he was with.
Yeah, and
Big ass.
the reason why Monk feels absolutely no remorse for him in any type of way.
Because he left for a literal big ass.
Yeah. And I'm going to say flat out, there are absolutely no ideas we have in this current moment for what happened to the mom, but I'm sure there will be a video about it in the future.
We can figure that out.
Yeah, because we have another quote-unquote version of Monk that we've yet to use, but we'll leave it there because it works too well not to do.
And, yeah. Then there was the gun scene. When it came to making the gun scene, not only at that point were we, like, really tired of being outside.
Because it was, like, so cold out. It's just like, and my dumb self just decided to, like, wear a tank top out there thinking I'd be fine. But, no, it wasn't. Yeah. And then eventually, like, I had to leave. That's why, like, the ending scene is back at where I live.
Yeah. But back to the gun battle. Yeah, I did end up having to like look for real gun sound effects, and they ended up being quite effective.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, the reconsider this joke.
Yeah, and like also like we mentioned before, like this is one of the videos that has like every single character in it.
Yeah.
Like almost up to date. There's been a few more beyond, but. Yeah, it has a lot of characters in it, which the reason we don't do that a lot is because it's honestly just a lot to keep track of.
Yeah. That's why season 2 from this point onward has like had very few characters.
It's just been mostly Monk, but there's gonna be like more coming soon, that's for sure.
Yeah, we realized we went a bit too far with the few characters thing, and we're gonna start bumping that back up a little bit from this point on.
Yeah, there's
but the party scene, though.
Yeah.
And then we brought back the Monk origin jokes.
Yeah. Because it's just like, why not?
Yeah.
Honestly, that's the reason why that joke came back. Why not?
Yeah, because, in all honesty, while recording this episode, that's when we decided we should keep Monk's very brash humor.
Yeah.
And
then I guess we could say something about, like, how...
Monk is the main character.
Yeah, this is the start where it's just like...
Monk became the main character and Corey became the punching bag.
Yeah, and it's also like why Monk's been like... It only... There's been very few episodes past this where there's... And even when there's more characters, it's just Monk's, like, group of friends.
Yeah.
So, but we have a few ideas of how we can, because it's going to be weird, but there's going to be videos that probably just won't have Monk in it. It's going to be probably super boring, but we gotta like give at least some of the other characters like some credit too. It's just like, yeah, because as much as I don't like it, because I mean Corey's just no, but there's the main four, like they deserve stuff.
Yeah,
not just Monk.
Great Man's entire little group there, they're never focused on.
Yeah, so we might do something for them eventually.
Yeah.
But like we said before, like there's going to be a very long span where there's going to be not like any uploads probably at all this entire summer because there's just like there's all between quarantine going on. Let's hope by the time you're seeing this, that'll be the +1 anniversary present. It's just quarantine's over. Do you imagine just that specific day?
That
That's not going to
unlikely.
happen. I'm just going to say that outright. But it's just like,
Yeah.
hopefully soon it's over.
Yeah, and let's just talk about how like bad of an idea it is to give Monk a gun.
Yeah, that's...
And
Well,
also
technically, the person, for the sake of the plot, Mr. Baku, who is a character not much is known about.
You'll be seeing
Oh,
something.
trust me.
You'll be seeing
That'll change I don't want to say soon, but it will change. You'll start knowing him.
There's a very special thing coming up involving him, and also this is when we like we said, this is when we started making Corey the punching bag,
Yeah.
with the Suckatree's anus joke,
And giving him the smallest gun possible.
and then having him compare it to his dick.
Yeah, it's just like it's just and it's just like, man, does anyone ever feel bad for Corey? I hope not. Just goes back to all the times that this is just payback at this point.
Yeah,
it's eternal payback.
yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much all there is to hunting Bigfoot.
It's one of those episodes that was at some parts it was like it was painful to make, but I really liked the final output.
Yeah. So we'll be going on to the next episode.
All right.
So, The Walk. This is when we introduce the fourth wave of characters.
Yeah.
And this episode focuses around Macho Shark, which is actually a reference to the shark puppet.
Yeah. We'll explain more about him personally when we get to characters,
But as for the reason we made this episode, we literally recorded it because we legit walked like a mile just to go to a McDonald's.
and like we were like, because we did something like this before and didn't do an episode about just going to the dollar store, but then we're like, to make it interesting at some point.
Yeah, and then it turned out like my parents bought sheets for us as well. So
that's why this is here.
that's why we threw in that joke at the end. This is actually one of our short episodes as well.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah. True.
But
Yeah.
so.
I mean, but yeah, again, that introduced Macho Shark, and then like more of the intro, but that's not really there's not really a whole lot, honestly, more to explain about this.
Yeah, it's just like a little fun thing.
Yeah, I don't want to say it was a no reason video because I do like this video.
Yeah,
I feel like and then we could also say this is one of the few times Monk actually is a decent human being.
Yeah. We also noticed while setting up in preparation for this commentary that for some reason in this episode, Monk's eyes appeared way darker than they actually are.
Yeah, like we had
There's
paused
there's no shine on them.
Yeah, which is weird because that's never happened, and it's even weirder because like there's certain scenes where it's just like, but for the majority there's not, and like this is outside. You would think that would be
where the shine is.
Yeah, and when most episodes are inside, that's never really happened. Like now it's fine, like when they're eating and everything, but it's just like, what was that? Was he actually somewhat demonic there? I don't know. We'll never know. Go ahead and theorize.
But yeah, there's surprisingly, we kind of just talked about everything there is to talk about with this episode. There's not much there.
No, it's still a good episode, but there's really not much to even add.
Yeah, I mean even the end not really had like a lot of backstory to explain.
Yeah, to be honest, like.
But for the backstory to this episode is we basically just took a walk and then we decided to record this while we were doing it.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I still like the video.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's like a very good episode, but it's just like
it's like it feels almost like a I'll say it as in like a real episode because I don't know. To me, like this feels like a real conversation.
Yeah.
In a way. In its own weird way.
Yeah, it's kind
like when they're walking, it feels like that's like, I don't know, you get it.
Yeah, and then Monk. Probably one of my favorite jokes, other than the Sheets one, is when Monk is carrying the McDonald's and he's like, "We got the good shit, man!" Like it's some kind of like hip new drug.
Yeah. McDonald's is my drug of choice. I swear, Monk needs a shirt that says that somehow. But yeah, that's really all there is to that one.
Anyway, we'll be going to the next episode.
Let me just say right off the bat that this is one of my most favorite episodes to ever exist.
Oh, absolutely. And we did record it like legit at night.
And unlike the Halloween episode, well, I'd say unlike, but both were real fires. This one was a lot bigger and was a lot more time to set up.
It was still controlled, but
yeah.
Like, we know about fire safety, don't worry about that. It was still controlled, but
yeah.
we did have, like, a legit giant thing of water at the ready in case it started to get out of control.
Yeah, and, like, the tent that they're in is, like, a cat tent. But it's just, like, that's small enough for puppets, like, why not?
Yeah, that actually works surprisingly well, because then again, Monk's crap is yarn.
Yeah.
So it's
just like, why not?
Yeah. But let's talk about our absolute favorite thing in the episode, this joke.
The fact that
Monk can be that loud.
We go into further in depth in the Puppet Squad wiki, which is not yet done.
Yeah.
But to sum it up, is that's loud. That's the best way to say it.
Like, after we recorded it, that very night, we were sitting there thinking, I did some research and found that in order for Monk to be heard, because, like, Monk mentions it's 11:30, and we figured out that sunset usually happens about 3 hours before that.
And they're also nowhere near the ocean.
Yeah.
Like that shown.
Yeah, so the fact that Monk can be heard, we scientifically proved that the entire United States could hear him. Which would be terrifying.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the military would be called. There would be a whole situation where it's just like, how would you even explain that rationally?
You couldn't.
You couldn't, no. And another thing I think worth pointing out is that occasionally, and this is one of them, it's usually just a scream, but you voice Monk.
Oh yeah, this is. I mean, I don't really like taking credit for voicing Monk when he masturbates, but
I mean, what do you do for a living? Voice a masturbating monkey puppet. Oh, I make millions. All jokes aside, this is like one of my top 3 favorite episodes. It's just like the only thing I hate is the "it's so chunky" joke. I don't know why I said that. It just popped into my head.
We were really tired.
It was actually it was late. It wasn't that late, but it was late enough to be tired.
Yeah.
We did a whole bunch of other stuff. We didn't. You see it as they waited there all night, but we just went the exact next day and did it.
Yeah.
These are 2 different days.
Yeah.
And the time he said, I think, was the exact time it was when we went out there.
Yeah,
so.
we made the 11:30 joke because that day you legitimately wouldn't get up until 11:30.
Yeah, so it's just like that's how we. This has happened a lot before. Is that we implement stuff that happened in real life into the episode, and it ends up working very well.
It also featured Monk's full squad. It introduced Jerry. Jerry hasn't played a major role in an episode yet, but
he will eventually.
It was at least revealed that Jerry is Monk.
He's friends with Monk.
Yeah, and he's part of the Monk squad. You know,
the only character really not shown in intros is Karen, other than the Puppet Mania series,
which is like it's like a spinoff, but it's like
there's not much to her either way.
We haven't really figured out exactly how to introduce Karen yet, which
I have a few ideas, none of them being good, but all you would need to know to sum her up is that she's just you hate her as much as Corey.
Yeah. So
she is a Karen. That is the overall joke. But yeah, this is one of I think the best episodes, because also another thing going back to this it's kind of sad but a heartwarming way
and then Monk just ruins it.
Yeah, absolutely ruins it. You have faith in him for 3 seconds max,
and then
and then absolutely ruins it and plays it off like everything he did was just okay. All right, good night, guys. No, hold on a second.
Yeah,
you just
pissed on the phone.
Yeah, I'm sorry, huh?
Not only did he piss on the fire, but he like pissed through a cup.
Yeah, and he vaguely described it with only a few words, so...
Not vaguely, vulgarly.
Yeah, true.
Anyway, that's pretty much all there is for this episode.
Yeah, let's go to the next one. Yes, this is a great episode. Actually, my number one favorite.
Yeah. Well, one of the many great things about it is like when I legit animated the title screen for it.
It's supposed to look like the Slender 8 Pages game.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then woven...
Both of the buttons just scream Monk's energy.
Yeah, it's just, and then the monk, the Woven Man doll is the string doll. That's why Woven. We were trying to think of a name that sounds good enough.
Well, originally we were just gonna have it be a Slender Man episode, but we looked at the Woven Man doll, and it's like, it's like his limbs are very short. Like he doesn't quite look like Slender Man. So we like, how can we parody him?
Yeah.
We looked up sewing terms of all things, and we found Woven.
Yeah,
and we really liked it.
And for as far as Woven Man himself, it's something that I actually had made before I even thought about making like into anything. I just kind of wanted a yarn doll of a Slender Man-ish thing.
Yeah.
And then we're like, hey,
yeah.
I got an idea.
Yeah, and that's basically how we came up with the idea to do the episode. Now, there are quite a few jokes in here, some of which no one will get. Specifically, Monk's drunken zoo livestream joke.
Yeah, we'll eventually have a video where we explain all the references and jokes. But again, even when we do, you still won't get them all the way. But
I will admit, you did, even, like, as a drunken monk, he legit showed legitimate anger when the computer...
Yeah, like, when he slammed it down. Like, I didn't actually mean to do it like that. So, it made it more real, but I'm like, oh wait, crap, I gotta make sure it's okay. And then the other thing, like, originally it was supposed to be all 8 pages. But it was honestly, it was later than the camping episode, and it was super dark.
And we really wanted to get inside.
Yeah, say what you will, but it's pitch black, you're just with a flashlight. It's scary out, okay? You never know.
Yeah. Plus Monk's very smart remarks to all the pages.
Yeah, and honestly, there's only so much what remarks I can think of for him to say, not working for all pages. So it's just like...
And then there was this jump scare.
Yeah, and the ending of this is set itself up for a sequel, which honestly, we're thinking about. No promises, but I'm just saying it's possible.
We should do it eventually.
Probably no time soon.
Look, but Monken just slathered the entire grass in crap.
Yeah, it's just like if you
and then
you think you have a problem, like you do. Yeah,
this scene. This was pure genius.
It almost makes me want to feel bad for Corey. Emphasize on almost.
Yeah, and then of course this.
Yeah.
Fun fact, that little ending bit with True Fear, I added that on my own, and I sent it to my friend here to, like, review, and it's like, hey, does this look good? And then he's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually kind of horrifying, to be honest. Even with, still the fart jokes and everything, it's still, especially with the part where, like, pulls the page down. I feel like that's actually kind of legitimately scary in a way. But
we did figure out that the Woven Man is deathly afraid of gross people.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair, honestly.
Because, Monk legit dropped over 2 pounds.
Yeah, he thinks he's got a problem. He definitely does. Maybe that's why... I'm not gonna make that joke. Honestly, I have some. Yeah. I'm not making that joke. Anyways, but it's just either way, my God.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this episode was very fun to make. But
yeah, despite us having running into we ran into a decent bit of problems thinking about what to do, and it's just we were both kind of getting irritated at points because we wanted to go to bed, but we still wanted to get make a good video, and I'm really happy with the ending result. It's just this video is stupidly, scarily fun. I love it.
Yeah.
And we did take the sound effects from Slender, but it's still like I feel like we've made them have a new meaning in some way.
Yeah. Well, the only sound effect we didn't take from Slender, surprisingly, is the sound the pages made.
Yeah, that scene or no, the original one was taken out of the car, I believe.
No, the sound effect I used for most of the pages came from when Monk took it and Woven was behind it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
However, the page that was in the computer, that sound effect actually happened in that clip.
Yeah, and it's just like either way, despite if we took it from before in different parts of the video, it's still like a sound that we unintentionally made, but it sounds like the exact sound from the game. But like, no, that is legitimately a sound that was a result of the video. So.
Yeah.
That's probably about all there is to say about this, other than there's probably going to be something like a sequel in the future, but there's no ideas or plans for it 100%.
Well, we discussed an idea, but we're not gonna spoil it. Anyway, we're gonna move on to the latest episode.
Yep.
And Puppet Sugar.
Yeah.
This is the most recent episode we made.
In fact, ironically, by the time you're seeing this episode will already exist. But as of recording this audio, the video isn't uploaded yet.
Yeah. So, well, I guess, in all honesty, the reason we made this was just to introduce like Kermit, as well as make jokes about the fact that we had a bag of powdered sugar.
Yeah. Because honestly, I don't know why, but I feel like Kermit just works as a druggie. I don't know why, I just do. And it's just like
the episode originally didn't have like as much in it, but
yeah, there were other ideas for stuff in this video that we had originally thought about and were gonna do, but it just originally just didn't end up doing.
Yeah. And then there's the scene with Monk like dicing up the sugar, getting it ready.
Hey, any movie that's PG-13 that has drug use
shows
how to line up cocaine. It's not even hard to comprehend, so
yeah,
don't come after us.
Yeah, and so Monk officially does drugs now.
Yeah. And
Monk,
this is also the second time in a row that we've done the big eyes joke. But if you think about it, like that, they're big eyes for what Corey was and big eyes for Monk. They're far from being similar.
Yeah. Corey was legit scared for his life. Monk was threatening his own life.
Yeah. And it's like
yeah. So, as a matter of fact, this episode didn't originally have as many scenes, but we added a couple when we felt like it was a bit too short.
Yeah, because actually, because we do visits where I come over, we've been doing them a lot, yeah, words.
More frequently.
Yeah, that. But this video wasn't filmed, like...
in the same visit. Like,
yeah.
Half of it was filmed like a week before the rest of it.
Yeah, like the beginning part was not what was filmed last. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like just like say but not at all explain Monk's lock screen.
Yeah. And also Monk is just Monk's nose is apparently so powerful that it sucked literally every gram off of that table.
And I'm sitting there like, cause I'm gonna be real, like I didn't want to get anything over like the puppet, so I'm sitting there like, there's gotta be something funny we can make that work with. I'm like, what if it's just like
Monk's nose is that powerful?
It's excessively into drug. Like I'm sitting there like, I don't know if I'm okay that this works for what it is, but we're going with it. It's just like, alright.
If you ask me, Monk's nose is just that powerful.
It's up for debate, like, where is his nose?
Yeah. So,
but, yeah.
That's pretty much all there really is for this episode.
This was kind of like the walk where it's one of those shorter ones. There's nothing wrong with the video. It's just like...
This episode basically served as Kermit's introduction.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we didn't want to spoil it, but like Kermit will be coming back.
Yeah, and he's gonna be like in Monk's group.
Yeah,
But he's probably going to be one of those ones that is like an official character. Well, he is an official character of the Puppet Squad, but doesn't really appear as much because he is a character. But I don't feel like he's that major of a character.
yeah,
But he will always be addicted to drugs and a drug dealer. That's just his thing.
yeah. And also his password is Elmo's.
Which is yet another reference that we'll explain some other time. That would honestly be one of the few ones that people could understand fully. But that's really about it. If we're trying to mention anything else, we could just say that actually no, there's literally nothing else I can think of. Just Baby Yoda's there in the back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also some of the FNAF characters.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that does it for this episode, and well, that's the most recent episode. So
Yep.
we're finally gonna go into segment 3, and take it away, Monk.
Why does everyone keep thinking this fucker's me? Oh, sorry. For our third and final segment, we'll be talking about each character on Puppet Squad so far.
Thanks, Monk, and as a matter of fact, you're up first. So, Mr. Monk, originally in the first episode, we just wanted him to be a complete idiot.
Yeah, and I mean, in all honesty, not too much has changed from that original idea. But again, like I've mentioned slightly before, like his voice was a combination of just that voice that everyone can't stand.
Yeah.
And it's still like that, but back then it was more like I got the idea for like Morty's voice from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
His personality was also from Rick and Morty, like a Meeseeks in a way.
So, yeah, and Monk evolved slowly, and we revealed more inappropriate things about him. Like how he craps a lot. We revealed that he craps a lot, we revealed that he drinks, we revealed that he does sugar.
Yeah.
And also his, like, tendency to overly masturbate.
Yeah.
So, and basically at this point in time, Monk is basically a combination of Mr. Meeseeks, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, and Peter Griffin.
Yeah. It's like if they took DNA from all those and they injected it into a monkey, and they took that monkey and they took its skin and now it's a puppet. That's what Monk is. But they also got like some old person with like who can't contain his poop. That's what Monk is. All right, that's about all you really need, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really all Monk is just a crazy idiot who has many problems. So Yeti in secret, eh?
Yeah, they're like we've said before. Originally, probably were just going to be one-offs for the Christmas special, but they evolved into their own thing. Yeti being extremely strong,
and Secret is just really good at karate.
and we can, since this is for them, we'll say that about Secret is it's just a plushie of Baby Private from Penguins in Madagascar, one of the movies.
Yeah, but it's like and that's why we named him Secret, because Secret is like a similar word to private.
Yeah, and it's just like it's not our like character per se, but we've changed it so much. The only thing at this point that is similar is because it doesn't really even look like he does in the movies. So at this point, we've made him so much our own thing. So.
Yeah, and Yeti is just a Yeti fuggler.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's we were trying to figure out like how do we implement these characters, and when we came up with the plot for the Christmas special, we turned them into like these two that were just like they were on the street. And
yeah.
It was later confirmed that was because of Bigfoot apparently, but that's besides the point. They were eventually on the street and like they heard Monk describe him getting thrown out of the house, and they were like, "We got you, fam."
Yeah, pretty much. But there's not really, detail-wise, other than what we said, there's not really a whole lot more.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all there is to them.
Yeah, just the only other thing is like they're another they're in Monk's friend group, and that's pretty much it.
So Macho Shark.
Yeah, one of still actually one of our still newer characters, to be honest.
Yeah, and we when developing his character, we were like, what could we do with a shark? And then we were like, hey, what if we just make him this universe's version of Shark Puppet?
Yeah.
And like,
It's just like, because like in the walk episode, which is the first episode he was in, he's like, I stopped the cheese, stopped the drinking, and it's just like, and he can actually talk more than just a few words. Yeah. It's just like, it's basically, Macho Shark is if Shark Puppet went to rehab and had a full body.
Yeah. And, you know what? Surprisingly, that's really all there is to say about it.
Honestly, yeah.
Since at the time of recording this, he is a fairly new character, we don't have that much to say about him.
Yeah, so that's really all there is. Jerry, again, one of the very newer characters. Basically, there's literally nothing I can talk about other than the fact that Jerry is inspired by the real duck Jerry. That's all I'm going to say, because you could just type up Jerry the Duck and you'll find it. Alright, that's it.
Alright, so Corey, you know, the former main character.
Yeah, the one that is up for debate who started it all. I mean, technically, but again, originally the show was supposed to be about Corey, and it was just, no, I'm glad it's not, because
Monk has turned into like such a character.
Yeah, it's just like I mean, at least to us, like Monk is iconic. You look at Corey, it's just like
he's just a guy.
Really, honestly, it's just like he at least like most of the others, like Corey and Karen, are just people.
Like, yeah, at least
just like even the ones that are not puppets have more even. Like Jerry,
even Woven Man has
more personality than Corey does. So yeah, that Corey is just Corey is just the male version of a Karen. Honestly, that's just like that's a major insult in the Puppet Squad universe. It's just like, oh, you're such a Corey. How dare you? Oh,
you're messing up our sound waves.
Yeah.
Now, so I guess that's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Screw you, Corey.
I hate you. She's a Karen.
Screw you, Karen. I'm Tyrone. I'm here to fuck your carrots.
No! Get out of here, Monk. No one asked you.
Anyway, in all seriousness, though, Tyrone.
Yeah. Tyrone is just inspiration from memes.
Tyrone is just one big stereotype.
Really, though. Honestly.
As a matter of fact, that little bit is the exact joke of his name.
Yeah, really.
Because the name Tyrone, it's typically like, it's stereotyped that Tyrone is like a name given to those of the African persuasion.
And
to put it nicely.
It's the we're not racist here, okay? We're just trying to appropriately explain
It's like a sitcom level joke.
Yeah. And mixed with that meme of the one guy who's like, my name's Tyrone, and I'm here, your wife. That's really what Tyrone is that meme as a rabbit.
Yeah. And, you know, we've also made a couple other jokes, specifically the description of Monk's eyes on the wiki.
And don't come after us for that. That doesn't mean anything. If you take it the wrong way, that's your fault.
I mean, again, it's just like one big sitcom joke. Like,
yeah.
In one of my favorite sitcoms is Last Man Standing, and the Larrabees, that family, they are literally just there to make race jokes about. And honestly, it's funny, because you can tell they're not being serious.
Yeah.
They're not being...
And even us, like, we're very, very lighthearted with it. We may have really bad jokes, but there's stuff that even, like, we won't go to certain levels for.
Anyway, that's pretty much all Tyrone is. One big stereotype. So Great Man. In all honesty, even when compared to just being the original 4 in the first episode, Great Man was kind of a character that we threw in. That's really why he's not, like, the focus of any episode. And also, it's like, we looked at him, he's like, what should his personality be? And it's like, Well, he's not really anything, so may as well make him nothing.
Yeah, because he's actually what is they called it, a build your own monster puppet,
But all the pieces are just gone.
and the teeth used for
Phil Harvey,
Phil Harvey are for
great man.
yeah, they came with Great Man.
But the thing is, like, we tried him with the teeth, but he didn't.
It doesn't look good at all, and like there's also an arm that because I found him at a Goodwill, and there was just an arm and teeth attached, and I'm like, all right, why not?
Anyway, so yeah, there's not really much to say about Great Man. And it I don't know. In a way, it's kind of unfortunate, but it's like,
Yeah, I feel like hopefully, and I say hopefully as if we know, but we really don't. Like, hopefully, we'll think of a way to like give him like more important roles in the
yeah.
future.
He is a good source of comedy though. He rid Guinness like a horse.
Yeah, really. All right, but that's probably about it so far, at least.
Okay, so Guinness,
Yeah,
just an Irish stereotype.
yeah. I was going for a Jacksepticeye vibe, and it's just like I realized that is just the Irish stereotype at this point.
Yeah. We even named him after.
Alcohol,
Yeah.
Guinness.
Yeah.
That's all I got. He's an older character, but I actually don't really know what else to say that much.
We don't really go into that much depth about him, but he is indeed related to Great Man by a common ancestor.
I can say that, like, getting these puppets wise, like, I think actually
Guinness is like the
Guinness was one of the very first ones, surprising enough, that I ever owned, like, outside of, like, not ignoring that Puppet Squad exists for a second. That's scary. But just saying
You've
that
had Guinness for the longest.
Yeah.
That's the main point here.
Yeah.
And that's just a little fun fact for y'all. But yeah, hopefully Guinness and Great Man will have like a
like they're like Monk Origins, maybe they'll have like a video dedicated to them, since neither of them, especially Great Man, really get that much anything.
yeah.
That would actually be something we could probably
But yeah.
do.
So yeah, that's just something to think about. But Guinness is a very interesting character, and that's all we have to say about him. The Minis, aka Orlov, Screamus, and Creeper. Oh man. Okay, we're sorry, but we had to.
Yeah.
I mean,
But like the reason like we put these three in their own category is definitely not because I have to leave this house soon and we needed to rush for time. Absolutely not. Get out of here with that.
well, they're just associated together, like,
yeah, 'cause
very frequently.
not only are they just like literally the three smallest characters, it's just like their roles have not really had.
They also just seem like they go together.
yeah.
Like, Creeper's a walking bomb, Screamus is like a screaming bird, and Orlov is just... He's smoothly volatile. That's
Yeah.
how we'll describe
He's
him.
a wannabe terrorist. That's what he is, though. Yeah. I really... There's not a... well... I mean, the only ones that we really have a decent thing to say about for is probably Screamus, considering it's just... It's one of those characters where it's just, like, doesn't talk. It's just, like, it's a sound effect.
Yeah, and subtitles. But that big scream, though...
That's it. Bye.
So about that FNAF episode,